Long before humans named the stars, the universe waited silently. Endless deserts stretched beneath a sky full of soft, shimmering lights. The air was still, yet alive with possibilities. In this quiet emptiness, the first stirrings of creation began. From the waters of nothingness, early gods appeared. Mist curled around them, glowing with faint golden light. Mountains, rivers, and forests were not yet formed, but the seeds of life were already present. Chaos was patient, carrying all things within it. In Mesopotamia, Marduk rose over Tiamat. He shaped the heavens and the earth, rivers wound through the land, and humans began to appear along their banks. Small villages formed, fires glowed softly, and the rhythm of life quietly began. Planting, flowing water, the first human activity. Above misty mountains, a cosmic egg hovered. Pangu emerged, separating heaven from earth. Mountains grew, rivers flowed, forests awoke. Life stretched across the world. Humans walked through these new landscapes, sensing harmony and connection to the vast universe. Sunlight spilled softly across valleys and hills, illuminating mountains, rivers, and forests. Pangu's body became the land itself. Humans moved within this world, small but aware of the balance and rhythm of creation. In Egypt, Adam rose from the primordial waters of Nun. Mist surrounded him as he formed hills, valleys, and rivers. The Nile began to flow, calm and eternal, reflecting golden light. Humans watched quietly, sensing the sacred order in the awakening world. Across Greece, Gaia emerged, and Uranus stretched across the sky. Titans moved across mountains and valleys, rivers winding beneath them. Humans observed, aware of forces larger than themselves. The land and sky seemed alive, breathing in rhythm with the cosmos. In India, Brahma danced his cosmic dance, creating stars, galaxies, and worlds. Rivers, forests, and temples awoke beneath him. Humans in the valleys felt the pulse of life flowing through all things, sensing the unity of sky, land, and living beings. In Mesoamerica, priests offered maize to the gods at sunrise. Temples and fields glowed in soft golden light. Rivers mirrored the sky, and humans moved in harmony with the cycles of nature. Life and creation were intertwined, every act connected to the rhythm of the universe. Across continents, creation unfolded. Rivers flowed, mountains rose, forests breathed, and humans observed in quiet awe. Night fell, campfires flickered, stars sparkled, and dawn returned, spilling golden light over mountains, forests, rivers, and villages. Thus, before humans had words and civilizations had risen, the universe moved in a quiet, eternal rhythm. Chaos gave way to order, darkness yielded to light, and in the hearts of the first observers, a sense of wonder and awe was born, echoing across millennia in myth, story, and memory. After the first stirrings of creation, the world began to take shape. Chaos had given way to patterns, yet the universe still carried the memory of its restless waters and swirling mist. Across the lands, rivers wound gently through valleys, forests stretched their branches toward the sky, and mountains rose with silent grandeur. Life began to fill these spaces, moving in harmony with the rhythms of the earth. In Mesopotamia, the first cities grew along the riverbanks. Mud bricks reflected the golden morning light, and people worked together to build homes, temples, and canals. The gods were felt everywhere, in the flowing rivers, the rising sun, and the wind that rustled through reeds. Humans learned that their labor was part of a larger pattern, a rhythm that connected them to the heavens. The Nile flowed steadily, and in Egypt, Adam's creation continued to take form. People planted seeds along fertile banks. Temples were raised toward the sun, and the land itself seemed to breathe with life. Observing the stars, humans understood the cycles of time, the rhythm of day and night, the rise and fall of the river, and the passing of seasons. Creation was not a single act, but a continuous unfolding. Far to the east, the mountains of Greece rose above the mist. Gaia and Uranus remained present, their presence subtle yet profound. Titans moved slowly across the land, shaping valleys and rivers. Humans learned to live in the shadow of these mighty forces, watching the sky and earth with quiet reverence. They saw that order emerges from chaos, and that harmony is born from balance and attention. In India, Brahma's dance continued. Galaxies and stars took form, spinning gently in the void. Rivers and forests shimmered under soft light. Temples reflected the divine energy of the land, and humans walked through valleys with awareness of the unity surrounding them. The dance of creation was mirrored in the rhythm of daily life. The planting of crops, the rise of cities, the quiet reflection at dawn and dusk. Across the Americas, the first civilizations were learning to honor the cycles of the sun and moon. Priests offered maize and fruits to the gods, performing rituals that connected the land to the sky. Mountains, rivers, and forests seemed alive with sacred energy. Humans began to understand that the universe was not separate from them, but intertwined with every act, thought, and breath. Night descended across the world. Campfires flickered, rivers reflected starlight, and humans gazed upward, sensing that the universe itself was alive and attentive. The rhythm of creation continued. The flow of water, the growth of forests, the movement of the wind, and the beating of human hearts all became part of the same pattern. Dawn returned, gentle and golden. Mountains, rivers, forests, and villages glowed softly in its light. Humans moved within this world, small but conscious, aware that life was a part of something much larger. Chaos had shaped order, and order was now filled with possibilities. Creation was ongoing, quiet, and eternal. Through every river, mountain, and forest, the stories of the first civilizations unfolded. Humans learned to see themselves as part of the grand rhythm of life, linked to the stars, the rivers, the earth, and the ever-moving cycles of the cosmos. In every sunrise, every gentle wind, every glimmering star, they saw the reflection of creation itself. And so, the universe continued its slow, eternal dance. Humans, mountains, rivers, forests, and stars were all part of one unfolding story. Chaos had become order, life had taken root, and in the quiet moments of observation, humans felt a connection that would carry forward across generations, written into myths, rituals, and memory. As the world settled into its rhythm, the gods themselves began to take shape in the minds of humans. Mountains, rivers, forests, and skies were no longer silent. They carried presence, intention, and voice. Every sunrise seemed guided by divine hands. Every river's flow mirrored a god's movement. Every wind whispered a sacred story. In Mesopotamia, the pantheon grew. Anu, Enlil, and Ea became guardians of the sky, air, and water. Temples rose along riverbanks, their walls painted with the tales of gods shaping the heavens and the earth. Humans watched the stars and felt the rhythm of the cosmos, seeing patterns that spoke of divine order. Life and labor were intertwined with the will of the gods, and every act of planting, building, or offering was a reflection of cosmic harmony. In Egypt, the gods were ever present. Ra sailed across the sky in his golden bark, illuminating the land. The Nile reflected his journey, and humans built temples to honor his daily passage. Isis and Osiris guided life and death, fertility, and growth, creating a balance that shaped the rhythm of civilization. Every dawn, humans felt a connection to these divine forces, sensing that their lives were part of a sacred pattern stretching across time. Across the Mediterranean, Greek myths told of titans and gods. Zeus claimed the sky, Poseidon the seas, and Hades the underworld. Humans saw their fears, hopes, and ambitions mirrored in the struggles of these beings. Mountains, forests, and rivers were alive with their influence. Temples and festivals became bridges between mortals and the divine, offering a way to understand the invisible forces shaping the world. In India, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva guided creation, preservation, and transformation. Rivers, forests, and villages awoke with divine energy. Humans walked through valleys and plains, sensing the dance of gods in every movement, the flow of water, the sway of trees, the turning of the seasons. Life itself seemed orchestrated by an unseen, intelligent rhythm, connecting earth and sky. In Mesoamerica, gods governed maize, rain, and the sun. Priests performed ceremonies at sunrise. Temples reflected divine presence, and humans aligned their lives with the cycles of nature. Mountains, rivers, and forests became sacred spaces, teaching humans to live in harmony with the cosmos. Every gesture, every planting or harvest was an echo of divine order. Humans across the world began to see themselves not as separate from the gods, but as part of a living, interconnected universe. Mountains, rivers, forests, cities, and skies were stages for divine stories. Humans observed, participated, and reflected, finding meaning in the patterns of life and the movements of the cosmos. The night sky deepened, and campfires flickered in distant villages. Humans gazed at the stars, imagining gods sailing across heavens or walking among mountains. The land and sky seemed alive with presence and intention. Dawn arrived gently, golden light spilling over rivers, mountains, and forests. Humanity, small yet aware, felt both humility and connection to the sacred rhythm of creation. The Age of the Gods was not only about powerful beings, it was about humans learning to perceive patterns, to understand cycles, to honor life. The divine was everywhere, in the water, the wind, the sun, the stars. Humanity became attentive, observant, and reflective, carrying stories of gods forward across generations, shaping both myth and reality. Creation continued quietly, eternally. Mountains rose, rivers flowed, forests swayed. The gods watched and guided. Humans acted and reflected. The world moved in a rhythm that connected all things, from the smallest seed to the vast stars above. In every sunrise, every flowing river, every whispering wind, the presence of the divine could be felt, a gentle, persistent meditation on life, order, and the cosmic harmony that bound gods, humans, and nature together. As humans looked up at the stars and around the land, they began to notice patterns, shapes in the sky, the curves of rivers, the growth of plants. All seemed to speak a quiet language. Slowly, people realized that the world itself held symbols, hidden messages from the gods and nature, waiting to be understood. In Mesopotamia, humans carved symbols into clay tablets and etched signs into walls. Every mark told a story of rivers flowing, of heavens moving, of life and death. The shapes were simple yet powerful, capturing the essence of creation in lines and curves. These symbols became a way to connect with the divine rhythm, a bridge between human understanding and cosmic forces. In Egypt, hieroglyphs glowed under the soft golden light of dawn. Birds, reeds, and stars were not mere images, they carried meaning. Each symbol was a key, unlocking the mysteries of the world. Humans inscribed them on temples, tombs, and papyrus, learning to see connections between earth, sky, and the cycles of life. Across Greece, humans looked to patterns in nature, the spirals of shells, the flow of rivers, the shapes of mountains. These patterns were not random. They reflected the harmony of the universe. Temples, pottery, and sculptures mirrored these forms, creating spaces where humans could feel the balance of life and the presence of gods in all things. In India, symbols became sacred geometry. Circles, triangles, and spirals were more than decoration. They were maps of creation. Temples, rivers, and gardens were arranged in these patterns, guiding humans to see the rhythm of the cosmos in the shapes around them. Every step, every gesture, every act of daily life was connected to these hidden signs, teaching balance and mindfulness. In Mesoamerica, symbols marked temples, stones, and ceremonial spaces. Maize, sun, rain, and mountains were all represented in abstract forms. Humans learned to read the world as a living text, finding guidance in the cycles of nature and the movements of the heavens. Symbols became a language without words, a way to see the invisible threads connecting all things. Humans began to understand that the universe spoke in patterns. Rivers carved paths through valleys, mountains rose in grand arcs, forests grew in fractal shapes, and stars traced their courses across the sky. These signs were not random. They were a subtle, eternal communication, a gentle reminder that life, nature, and the cosmos were intertwined. Night fell, and the stars reflected in calm rivers. Humans sat in quiet reflection, tracing shapes with their eyes, noticing symmetry, cycles, and repetition. Dawn returned, soft and golden, illuminating mountains, temples, forests, and villages. Humans moved through their world with awareness, seeing the language of creation written in every detail. The hidden language of symbols was everywhere. In the curve of a river, the pattern of a leaf, the movement of the wind, humans saw messages that guided their lives. Creation itself was a story written in shapes, patterns, and rhythms, inviting humans to participate, observe, and reflect. Thus, the universe continued its quiet teaching. Every symbol, every shape, every pattern was a reminder of harmony, connection, and the eternal presence of life and the divine. Humans learned to read the world not only with their eyes, but with their hearts, discovering that creation itself was a meditation, a conversation, and a bridge between the earthly and the cosmic. As humans looked upward, the night sky became a map of mystery and meaning. Stars were more than points of light. They were guides, stories, and reminders of the unseen forces shaping the world. Long before telescopes, humans observed, recorded, and imagined, seeking patterns in the heavens that reflected life on Earth. In Mesopotamia, priests watched the movement of planets and stars, linking their paths to rivers, seasons, and human affairs. The heavens were a living script. Each constellation was a story, each eclipse or planetary alignment a message. Humans learned to measure time, predict seasons, and plan their lives, guided by the rhythm of the cosmos. In Egypt, the Nile and the stars were inseparable. The rising of Sirius marked the annual flooding, bringing fertility and life. Temples and pyramids were aligned to the heavens, reflecting the sacred order of the universe. Humans walked through spaces designed to mirror the night sky, learning that the stars were a reflection of life on Earth and the divine order above. Across Greece, humans traced the motions of the heavens to find meaning in their lives. Constellations told tales of gods, heroes, and mythical struggles. Humans observed, reflected, and recorded, connecting earthly events to celestial patterns. The stars were a mirror of existence, teaching humans about cycles, destiny, and the harmony of life. In India, astronomy and ritual intertwined. Temples, rivers, and mountains aligned with celestial movements. Observers learned to calculate time, predict eclipses, and mark sacred festivals. The heavens were alive, not distant. Humans moved through valleys and plains aware that their lives resonated with the cosmic rhythm. In Mesoamerica, priests watched the sun, moon, and planets carefully. Temples and pyramids were built to align with solstices, equinoxes, and planetary cycles. The stars guided planting, harvesting, and ritual. Humans saw their daily lives mirrored in the sky, understanding that life and cosmos were deeply connected. Night after night, humans traced constellations with their eyes, connecting patterns to seasons, rivers, and mountains. They imagined gods sailing across the sky, rivers reflecting starlight, and the unseen threads linking every living thing. Creation, they realized, was ongoing, each day and night a reflection of the eternal rhythm of the universe. Even as civilizations rose and fell, much of this knowledge was lost. Records vanished, temples crumbled, and myths faded. Yet the rhythm of the stars continued, guiding those who observed, reminding humans that the cosmos was alive, eternal, and full of wisdom waiting to be discovered. Dawn returned softly, illuminating mountains, rivers, forests, and villages. Humans walked through the world, aware that their actions were part of a larger story written in stars. Every sunrise, every flowing river, every rustling leaf was a reflection of the eternal order, a subtle teaching from the heavens. Thus, even when knowledge was forgotten, the stars continued to guide, teach, and inspire. Humans learned to see themselves as part of a larger rhythm, connected to the earth, the sky, and the silent, eternal pulse of creation. The universe was alive, and humanity, small yet aware, was a participant in its unfolding story. As humans observed the world around them, they began to notice that patterns repeated everywhere. Circles in the sun and moon, spirals in shells and plants, triangles in mountains and river valleys, all seemed connected. Slowly, humans understood that these patterns were not random. They reflected the harmony of creation itself. In Mesopotamia, temples were built with careful attention to symmetry and proportion. Every line and shape reflected the cycles of the heavens and the rhythms of life. Humans felt that by aligning their structures with these patterns, they could connect more closely to the gods and the cosmic order. Each brick, each carved stone, was part of a larger harmony, a quiet meditation on the unity of life. In Egypt, pyramids rose toward the sky with precise geometry. Their alignment with the stars and the sun was deliberate, creating a bridge between earth and heaven. Humans walking through temple corridors or along riverbanks could feel the rhythm of creation in every angle and line. The shapes themselves seemed to pulse with energy, reflecting the sacred balance of the universe. Across Greece, humans explored proportion in art and architecture. Temples, sculptures, and pottery mirrored natural forms. The curve of a wave, the spiral of a shell, the balance of a tree. Geometry became a language, a way to understand the invisible forces shaping the world. Observing these patterns, humans felt a sense of order, calm, and connection to something larger than themselves. In India, sacred geometry was used in temples, gardens, and ritual spaces. Circles, squares, and triangles mapped the cosmos on Earth. Humans walked through these spaces slowly, observing the balance of shapes, sensing that every step was part of a greater pattern. Life itself, the flow of rivers, the growth of plants, the movement of the sun, echoed the same rhythms, teaching harmony and mindfulness. In Mesoamerica, pyramids, plazas, and ceremonial spaces were carefully aligned with celestial events. The movement of the sun, moon, and stars was mirrored in architecture and urban planning. Humans learned to see creation as a network of patterns, where the earth, sky, and human activity were interconnected in sacred geometry. Patterns were everywhere. In the spiral of a river, the arrangement of stars, the growth of a tree, humans saw reflections of the cosmos. Geometry was not only for buildings or temples, it was a way to understand life, to sense rhythm, to perceive order in chaos. Every form, every curve, every alignment was a whisper of the universe, guiding humans to live in harmony with the world. Night fell, and shadows moved gently across mountains and valleys. Stars reflected in rivers, forests swayed in soft wind, and humans paused to observe the patterns surrounding them. Dawn returned, golden and gentle, illuminating the shapes of the land, the alignment of temples, and the flow of rivers. The sacred geometry of creation was visible everywhere, teaching that life itself is a meditation, a balance, and a rhythm. Thus, humans discovered that the universe spoke in shapes. Mountains, rivers, forests, temples, and stars were all part of a continuous pattern. By observing, reflecting, and moving with these rhythms, humans connected with the eternal order, feeling the quiet presence of creation in every form and every space. Life and cosmos were intertwined, and sacred geometry was the language that made this connection visible, tangible, and alive. As the world became filled with life, humans began to sense a quiet rhythm that connected everything. Rivers flowed in harmony with the winds. Forests swayed with the patterns of the sun, and mountains held the echoes of stars. Humans realized that they, too, were part of this eternal movement, a small yet conscious thread in the vast fabric of creation. In Mesopotamia, farmers observed the cycles of rivers and stars. Planting and harvest followed a rhythm set long before humans walked the earth. Temples and city walls reflected the patterns of the cosmos. Every human act, from building to offering prayers, was an attempt to align with this rhythm, to live in harmony with forces larger than themselves. In Egypt, people felt the passage of Ra across the sky. The daily journey of the sun became a guide for life and work. The Nile rose and fell in time with the stars, shaping fields and cities. Humans understood that their lives were tied to the movement of the heavens, and in honoring the gods, they honored the natural order. Across Greece, humans observed the interplay of mountains, rivers, and stars. Festivals, rituals, and daily routines were built around cycles of nature. Observing, reflecting, and participating in these cycles, humans felt a deep connection to the world around them. They began to see that life is a pattern, that joy, loss, growth, and rest are all part of the cosmic rhythm. In India, the movements of the sun, moon, and planets guided daily life. Temples and rivers reflected celestial patterns, reminding humans that their actions are mirrored in the cosmos. Life became a meditation. Every breath, every step, every gesture, a response to the rhythm of the universe. Humans felt both small and infinitely connected. In Mesoamerica, ceremonies marked the turning of seasons, the rise and fall of the sun, and the cycles of the moon and stars. Humans learned to live in harmony with the earth, planting and harvesting in sync with celestial events. Mountains, rivers, and forests became sacred spaces, teaching that humanity's life is part of a greater ongoing dance. Through observation, ritual, and reflection, humans realized that creation was not a distant story but a lived experience. Every sunrise, every flowing river, every whisper of the wind carried lessons of balance, harmony, and interconnectedness. Humans became aware that life itself was a meditation, a conversation with the stars, the earth, and the unseen forces of the universe. Night fell across the lands. Campfires glimmered near rivers and villages, and humans gazed at the stars. They saw patterns, reflected in rivers and mountains, in the swaying of forests and the rise of cities. Dawn returned, soft and golden, illuminating the world in quiet harmony. Humans moved with awareness, small yet conscious, sensing their place in the eternal rhythm of life. Thus, the age of humanity was not separate from creation. Mountains, rivers, forests, stars, and humans all moved in unison, bound by a silent, enduring rhythm. Observing, participating, and reflecting, humans carried the lessons of the cosmos within themselves, honoring the eternal dance that had begun long before the first civilizations and would continue long after. The world had grown, shaped by gods, humans, and the quiet rhythm of creation. Mountains rose, rivers flowed, forests breathed, and stars continued their eternal journey across the sky. Humans had learned to observe, to reflect, and to participate in this great unfolding. Across the lands, the first civilizations had built temples, cities, and monuments, leaving traces of their understanding of the cosmos. Mesopotamian canals mirrored the flow of rivers. Egyptian pyramids aligned with the stars. Greek temples captured the balance of nature. Indian gardens reflected cosmic geometry. Mesoamerican plazas followed the sun and moon. Each creation was a meditation, a bridge between human life and the eternal universe. Humans learned that life is a series of cycles, each connected to something larger. Birth and death, day and night, planting and harvest, all mirrored the rhythms of the cosmos. By observing and participating, humans discovered a sense of harmony, a connection that went beyond the visible world. Every gesture, every thought, every act became part of the ongoing dance of creation. The night sky remained a silent teacher. Stars traced paths across the heavens, echoing the patterns of rivers, mountains, and forests. Humans watched, learning patience, awe, and humility. They saw that knowledge of the universe was not only in texts or monuments, but in observation, reflection, and living in alignment with the rhythms of nature. Dawn returned gently, spilling golden light over valleys, rivers, forests, and villages. Humans walked through this light, small but aware, sensing the unity of earth, sky, and life. The pulse of creation could be felt in every flowing river, every swaying tree, every glimmering star. Humans were part of the story, carriers of memory, observers and participants in the eternal rhythm of the universe. In quiet reflection, one could see the threads connecting all things: the gods, humans, rivers, mountains, forests, and stars. Creation was not finished. It continues, endlessly unfolding, carrying lessons of balance, harmony, and interconnectedness. The dawn of the universe was not a moment in the past, but a living, ongoing presence in every breath, every heartbeat, every observation. And so, the myths of the first civilizations remain alive, not only as stories, but as wisdom. They remind humans to observe the world with care, to honor the rhythms of life, and to seek harmony within themselves and with the cosmos. Life is a meditation, a reflection of the dawn, an invitation to participate in the eternal unfolding of creation. As the sun rises, casting warm light over mountains, rivers, forests, and villages, humans pause to remember. They are small yet conscious, brief yet eternal in the flow of time. The universe is alive, and they are part of it, a living thread in the tapestry of existence, carrying the memory of the dawn forward into every day. Thus the story comes full circle. Chaos gave way to order, myths shaped understanding, humans learned to live in rhythm with the cosmos, and the eternal dance of creation continues, silent, gentle, and infinitely profound. The dawn of creation is not a moment frozen in time, but a living rhythm that flows through every river, every mountain, every star, and every human life. Humanity is but a small thread in this eternal tapestry, yet through curiosity, reflection, and action, we become part of its unfolding story. As we continue to uncover the mysteries of the past, myths, great events, and the lives of remarkable people, even greater insights await, inviting us to connect, wonder, and remember.